Need to do Jerry to 3, so he is 3 and 2. Forgot last game. But judging by what Mermy did, if he is not aware of the changes to the Chinese units, he won't be able to utilize them as well, because Steppe Riders, for example, have been replaced with Neon Riders, and the Neon Riders were actually decent cavalry units, like essentially like a Hussar, but you still have the 7 Neon Rider shipment, which replaces the 7 Steppe Rider shipments, so essentially you get 7 Hussars almost from that one shipment. Starting with 300 wood, not bad for China. India, of course, being a wood-based civilization for their villages, starts with 400. Going straight for the llamas. Llamas being the fastest fattening herdables, I believe, and also pretty fast to gather from. Are considered the best in the game. Look for that village, literally inside its base. In Wars of Liberty, villages can also train youngs, which are essentially kind of like weak skirmisher-like units, kind of like voluntarios, which kind of see the job of Minutemen. But you can train them infinitely, and they're really, really cheap, and they kind of do their job early, you know, they just are able to dish that damage. So putting villages around the map can be really, really useful for defense. It already is in the Asian dynasties because you can garrison villages and get shipments, so they're really, really amazing houses. But now they can also train youngs in Wars of Liberty, so you can kind of get Minutemen infinitely. They're not as strong, obviously. Men do pack a punch and kind of force you to back off. Youngs definitely do not have that much of an effect. But I don't know if you want to get 2 villages right inside your base. But China is actually proving to be a good choice for this map, considering the llamas in this map. So quite effective in getting them to fatten up as well as the starting goat. So once they're all fattened up, that will be a very good boost to Mermy's eco here. But then again, llamas are also very useful for India. I believe they have the highest XP trickle. Not too sure. And yeah, Vivid mentioning something about 10 llamas being essentially equal to a trade post. 10 llamas, 1 trade post, probably. And then there's also the fact that the Indian explorers can heal units, which can be really, really nicely abused. Yes, young do have limit. What I meant by infinite is that once they die, you can still keep training them. It's not like a one-time only card that you can send like Minutemen or the Sentries. You can still keep training them. Yeah, Vivid already understood it. Yep, perfect. But I will be saying the same thing in about a minute from when it was typed. Agra Fort now coming down, quite center of the map between the ponds. So it should have pretty much line of sight for this whole area except for this part. Essentially kind of forcing Mermy around the map if he wants to raid. So now both players aging up. Looks like this will be the Summer Palace and the Agra Fort. Summer Palace will grant Mermy back some food. Now has increased the villages to 4 versus 1. So over time this should catch up with Jerry's age up. Look at that. This is considered a flying crow. The explorer's a flying crow, man. And then villages are sacred fields. And then villages are barracks. Snow Tiger. Amazing, man. The Asian replacements. Amazing. We definitely need a proper UI for Wars of Liberty though, like, honestly. It would be so awesome to be able to see all these shipments, units, etc. Nope. Can't even do that. Nothing of the UI works, and I know I've tried fog before and it hasn't worked, and I don't want to try it and end up crashing something, so I'm not even gonna try it. But I have tried it before and it didn't work. I'll try it when the game ends, maybe. Although it should give full map vision at the end of the game, shouldn't it? Oh well. Good herding from both sides, getting those hunts into the town centers essentially, and then China also having the additional villages to help out with garrisoning your villages to safety, although these hunters seem to have really strayed afar, killing the llama early to not deal with the killing animation with the villagers, as it does take quite a while to kill them with that back of the rifle head bashing animation. Explorers coming in, lots of sepoy, British allies as expected. Should have foreign units coming in soon. Was he trying to stomp villages to prevent them from gathering? What skills are being used since Wars of Liberty? Well, ironically, both players are playing a normal Asian civ. India versus China here, pretty much Asian dynasties matchup. But now he is actually aging up to age 3, going for that fast fortress with the Confucian Academy to get long dragons. So once this wonder is up, every 3 minutes a long dragon will arrive, and Jerimuno wants to really beat that, because long dragons would be quite an issue versus India, since Sepoy and Gurkha and the Highlanders. Actually, Highlanders are a great shipment for India here. Highlanders are decent units. But what I was trying to say is that the Soas are not really good cavalry units, as everyone knows. Known as trash in most cases, actually. So they won't be able to deal with too much. Unless they're in a decent mass, I guess. But they will get mowed down, essentially. Because China actually has pretty good anti-cavalry in Wars of Liberty. Villager pops out. Wonder is still being built, thanks to the natural generation of the wonders. But now the villagers are being killed, so Mermy is essentially getting housed in, and due to the naked fast fortress and the villagers being, well, idled, he is pretty much stuck. Like, even if the long dragons are being produced, it's gonna be quite troublesome. Right there they are, Neon Riders and Chukono coming from the Summer Palace for free now. As you can see, Neon Riders definitely better than the Steppe Rider counterpart. But the Chukono do counter the Sepoy, but are really outnumbered. So I doubt they'll be doing anything more than like a few kills. Right there they are, Xiangyu coming in. These are the replacement of the other riflemen of the Asian dynasties, China. But do need to worry about that one Soa, but it goes down. Now also H3, Confucian Academy was built in the meantime. Will be forcing Jerry out of his base now, but has been idled for quite a long time now. Explorer still trying to siege the academy. One explorer already down on the floor. Skirm's trying to kill as much Sepoy as possible. Essentially killing one per volley. That was pretty good actually. But now Caravanserai. Oh, Jesus. That's interesting. Getting to see. It's like I'm pressing on a saloon. So is it? Yeah, look, it's considered a monastery, so I can see the choices. So you can build Elmeti this game which is pretty decent unit. I like Eremiti. They're not the best, but I like them. Villages being rebuilt. He did get housed. Still is housed. So needs to fix that really quick. Probably wasn't able to even queue villages. Look at that. Daimyo is actually a Solar. Tokugawa's coming into your base, man. Careful. 5 Tokugawas. Right, so the Sepoy re-entering base now has another SOAR assistance, so the skirmishers have to be careful. Might have seen the skirmishers thanks to the explorer that was alive just a moment ago. Forcing the villagers back into the town center. Sepoy are able to pick one off. We'll probably go for the siege on the village once again. Long Dragon should be spawning at any moment once more. India is literally the same in Wars of Liberty, honestly. It's the least changed civ of all. Right, so that will be a village down, and he will be housed again. So even if the Long Dragon trains, he won't be able to get it due to being housed. Really well executed raids here. China is essentially crippled, but we do have Meteor Hammers coming towards a raid here. So Meteor Hammers actually have extra range and are able to kite. But the village now going down. 2 villagers kind of pathing around. If Jerimuno was looking there, probably would have killed the other one as well, but is still able to kill that one villager. And will now be proceeding to siege the town center. He is completely housed and cannot do anything at all. So even if the Summer Palace and Confucian Academy were to give free units, they can't because he is housed. And also has only 17 wood. Literally housed and crippled at the moment. Consulate being built at the side. Can get some foreign assistance now. I believe they do have the Ottomans on Wars of Liberty. In Wars of Liberty, the allies did change a bit. There are also some allies being changed to Wars of Liberty civilizations like the United States or some other stuff, for example. Yeah, 9 Tokugawas, 13 Conquistadors, 37 Japanese monks. Thanks to the Sepoy 22 siege, town center going down pretty fast, about to hit 0 pop. Ooh, some Rogers Rangers coming in thanks to the consulate. Musketeer. And that will be GG, game number 4 going for Jerimuno, and he will be proceeding to the finals.